We're in the middle of a water crisis and a drought in California, but tonight people in urban areas, they're not heeding the call to cut back on water usage.
But as our political reporter Morgan Reiner tells us, conservation advocates say the government needs to focus its attention away from the big cities.
The consensus from everyone that I spoke to today is that conservation is no doubt important. And even though it's places like San Diego and LA that were a big part of the reason why we saw an increase in consumption, activists say that 80% of the water the state is allowed to use does not come from those cities at all.
Meteorologist Rob Karlmark has some good and bad news for you.
Compared to last year, we're slightly better if you look at the U.S. Drought Monitor. However, we're still not in great shape, not at all.
This is the map from the U.S. Drought Monitor.
The big problem with this year is that we didn't get barely any storms, not only for Southern California, but for Northern California, and that leaves the whole state in a drought.
And dry season is just getting started. Governor Newsom asked California households to reduce water usage by 15%.
In fact, the opposite happened. Compared to this time last year, they're looking at right around 19% of increased water use.
Community Water Center, a nonprofit that works directly with small rural communities of color to get clean drinking water, said the households they work with are already conserving as much water from their private wells as possible. But surrounding farms are reducing the groundwater available to them.
There are these bigger issues that we need to be addressing, like who is using most of the water.
Agriculture and deepening your well to compete for more water.
It's $30,000 minimum. So we're talking about a car payment, a house payment.
This is the map of wells in California. 188 reported drying up since March. Kelsey Hinton believes that number could reach over 3,000 by the end of the year. One solution her group is fighting for, Assembly Bill 2201. It would allow groundwater agencies to see who is applying for a well permit and how deep it is so that they can assess how it will impact surrounding communities.
Almond and alfalfa irrigation that use about 3 trillion gallons of water per year.
Other groups like Food and Water Watch believe the fastest solution is for California to transition away from producing thirsty year-round crops. Republican Assemblymember Devin Mathis says that these environmentalists are taking the wrong approach.
Do you want your ag products being grown in another country? Yes or no? Do you want the same environmental standards, the same labor standards, the same protections that we put into our food that's grown here in the U.S.?
California's almond industry is a billion-dollar industry. Transitioning away from that is not going to be an easy battle to win. Now, another key solution is reservoirs, but that also takes time. Voters passed the funding for that back in 2014, and the projected timeline for all 7 of the reservoirs to be completed is not for another 8 years. But Republican Assemblymember Mathis, he argues that if a city can put up an arena in less than a year, that the state can definitely expedite those projects.